curious to know a little more about your nudge. What kind of impact that had on the other people in the organization who may have done the pitch, may have done the harder work associated with getting that new revenue?
Great question. So there's a lot of education that needs to go around anything like that. And the education in our organization is around the fact that, especially when you're small and growing, if we don't get the opportunity to even get in the door, none of us can prosper from the business. Now, again, growth, especially in our environment, people understand why we need to grow. We need to grow because we have so many top performers. We've got to keep them on the fast track. You can't keep people on the fast track without growth. So what you need to do if you institute Commission for Life is make people feel like that was a hero who brought in that business, because we're all going to prosper. So if that person brings in the business, but I do the business, for instance, yes, I have the hard work of doing the business, but I also get the career path and the opportunities and everything that comes from running that business. So I would not say that there's never an issue. I mean, certainly every once in a while there is, but it gets back to culture again. If people feel like they're all on the same mission, they like each other, they're productive, it cuts down on all of that stuff. But I think, we've thought about, when we get bigger, do we not do Commission for Life? Because, frankly, we get a lot of business over the transom now. It's not something we need to grow. But to be honest, we've decided we're always going to have it, because it's easy to make those decisions in fat and happy times. But when times get bad, to have an army of people who understand how the business is built and are incented to do so it's an insurance policy for us. Yeah, there are a lot of corporate environments have their own nudges. I'm just thinking, when you think about anything in our own life, what's a nudge? I mean, it's interesting to look at how people change their behaviors. I mean, even silly things like, why all of a sudden does nobody smoke? Like all of these massive behavioral changes. What was the nudge? Was the nudge just health education? Was the nudge, what was it behind it? But all these things had a pretty massive nudge. So when you think about it more globally like that and get out of my Commission for Life and think 40,000 feet, about any massive behavioral change, there's probably some simple nudge behind it.
And I think a lot of it is that they're usually behaviors that people want to do anyways.
That's right.
But what you're doing is giving them the target and a little bit of motivation, incentive to get there. Yeah.
That's right.
Question over here?
Yeah, if you were to leave your company and restart the same company, how would you create the army of entrepreneurs but do it 25% faster, better, quicker?
Oh, what a great question. I don't know. I would just start day one with everything I've learned, and I think everything would just be faster. I would take everything I know about how to hire entrepreneurial people, and I would start there versus taking a base of folks that I have to retool, right? If you ask me what have I really learned, I've really learned that a good leader probably spends 35 to 40% of their time on human capital, whether that's identifying and courting the people of the future or engaging the people that you have. The other thing I learned, funnily enough, this has nothing to do with employee engagement, but if I had to do it again, is, I'm in the PR business. We would have shouted louder about who we are, what we are, and why it's different from day one. We waited 10 years to do that.
I would imagine, too, that starting knowing that you're going to do 100-day plans would really turbocharge what you're doing. Because you can course correct a lot more. And the other thing is that critical to leading people is focus.
Yes.
And so
I totally agree. 100-day plans would be a day one situation. We started that 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So, that's a great point.
Yeah.